everybody on the Pro4uM. So let's talk about February the 1st, 2016. Ooh, it's a cold night here in Louisiana. So I got my fancy sweater on, I got my scarf, I've got my fire going, and I've decided maybe once a month we should have a fireside chat. Now what's hilarious is that if you're from Louisiana right now, you're thinking, oh my God, it's hot. How is it that Kirk's so wrapped up? Well, let me just tell you, if you catch a couple of beads of sweat on my forehead, it's because it's not cold at all. But the effect is great. My wife just suggested that maybe we should put the fan on. And before this thing's over with, we might actually put the fan on. So why do I have my glasses on looking like an old man? Well, first of all, to go with the fireside chat, I thought it would make me look scholarly. But in the reality is, I got some notes and I want to read some of the things that I've been piling up on. One of the things that I got kind of into here lately and did some research on is called mastermind groups. Now, what's so interesting is this is like for some, and all these articles that have been coming to me, it's like this revolutionary, brand new, oh my goodness, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread that we want to talk about. Mastermind groups. So it starts out in the article by saying, what if I told you you can put yourself in a better position to succeed by simply sharing your time with like-minded and motivated individuals? And immediately what grabbed me by that statement was, that's one of the secrets, if you want to call it a secret, to my success. And this sharing your time is called the Pro4uM. And for all you guys, some of them who've been here for well over 10 years, and you just keep coming back to the Pro4uM, and I get emails and messages from you as to why you love the Pro4uM so much. This is why. It's because just by simply sharing your time with others on the Pro4uM, what happens is you actually get better. In this article, it mentions people like Benjamin Franklin, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison. All of these individuals, these famous people, what they did is they met with groups of like-minded people on a regular basis. Now, they didn't have the luxury of the internet. Back in those days, some of the days of Ben Franklin and Thomas Edison and Henry Ford, what they would have to do is they would have to meet face to face. They would meet weekly, as this article it talks about. They would help each other achieve their goals, and they would watch each other grow. They made each other accountable. And so, you know, that's what this little article kind of talked about. It talked about what is a mastermind, okay? And it defines it as a peer motivating group of individuals who meets on a regular basis. That is a perfect definition of what the Pro4uM is. But it continues to push each other to work to their highest potential and hold each other accountable. Is that not what the Pro4uM is? And it just fascinates me how people don't get it. That they think to themselves that they can do this on free Facebook groups, for example. But you can't. You're not accountable. You might be listening to someone on a free Facebook group who is just happens to have lots of free time. It fascinates me. For years and years, people would complain that the person on the Pro4uM that they're listening to might be someone who's just doesn't know anything about business. But now the exact same people are even worse listening to free advice that is being given on a free network such as Facebook. Not searchable, not anything, and yet you listen to what's being said on some of these groups. Who do you think you're talking to? Who do you think you're listening to? But people who just happen to have a whole lot of time on their hands. So think about that. think about how having a group such as the Pro4uM makes you accountable. By having a pay area the way we do on the Pro4uM, what it does is it forces you to get involved. It mentions how in this group that people who spend time on a regular basis on groups like this are historically successful people. It mentions people like Bill Gates used mastermind groups. It mentions Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, what he would do is create his own mastermind groups. He would gather up key people in his organization, bring them all together, and what he would do with those individuals is he would make them make each other better. And it was incredible. I highly recommend the Steve Jobs book. You really need to read it. While he was a complete jerk, the man knew how to grow a business. Some of the different aspects that I think is beautiful about a mastermind group, thus beautiful about the Pro4uM, first of all, accountability. What happens when you gather yourself with like-minded individuals is you join a group such as the Pro4uM, what happens is every time you meet, every time you talk, every time you make a suggestion, I mean, what if you suggest to someone, maybe you should start advertising on Instagram, but you don't advertise on Instagram? What do you think that's going to make you do? It's going to make you accountable for the advice that you're giving. Now, at the same time, someone else may say, Kirk, mall advertising is not a good idea. Maybe you should spend $700 a month instead on Facebook advertising. But what if that person isn't doing what they said? Do you see how then it makes them accountable for what they're saying? At the same time, I'm receiving good advice. So do you see how each other, in exchange of information with like-minded individuals, makes us accountable? Another area where these types of groups are beneficial is feedback. We get feedback from one another. We're all trying to build a better business. We're all trying to do a better job. Sometimes you just need a little advice. Sometimes you need just a little help. Sometimes you need an image where somebody looks at an image and they say, you know, if you were to put the light a little more left or a little more right or not so flat or whatever the case may be, and you see it and you say, oh, now that was fantastic feedback. Again, what does sharing information like that do for the person receiving it? It makes them better. But what does it do for you? The person who actually said, maybe you should move the light a little bit left. The next time you find yourself in a situation like that, you're going to make sure that you put the light in the right spot. So you see how this interchange with like-minded individuals creates a positive feedback. There's also collaboration in a mastermind group. Collaboration in the fact that you have the opportunity to say, well, let me throw a crazy idea at you. I remember it was Tom Bagby who said, hey, how about this crazy idea? What if we said, Tom's bored. This was the ad he ran. Tom's bored. Help me not to be so bored. Come in and let me take your portraits. And he got so much business off of that. And I know there's many of us who took the Tom's board idea and put it into our own businesses, and as a result, we got lots of business from it. Do you see? A collaboration of ideas among each individuals. Networking. So awesome as a place like the Pro4uM in that you meet people that you would have never met before. Now you find yourselves at a PPA convention or maybe a WPPI or Sync or one of these other types of conventions, instant friendship. Instantly you know that person. Hey, you're so-and-so from the Pro4uM. Hey, I'm so-and-so. Oh, I love that post that you made. Boom, an instant collaboration, an instant networking of like-minded individuals. Another great thing about these types of groups, and again the Pro4uM, is the resources. Who knows when you might have something that just the other person might need. I know there's been situations where people have contacted me. One was an underwater camera. Made a friend of mine up in Wisconsin, made all sorts of promises to a senior who then suddenly wanted to do it. And it involved some underwater photography. Called me up. He knew I had an underwater housing that happened to fit the exact camera he had, and that he was able to borrow my underwater housing. You see the resources that being a part of a group like this allows us to have? It's a fantastic type of group. And then finally, there's support. In a group like we have, it's awesome to know that if we just need someone's shoulder to cry on, or if we just need an opportunity to say, hey, you know, I'm looking to get a little better, what can I do? You know, there's the Pro4uM. There's also all sorts of areas. For example, if you just want to blow off some steam and you want to talk in the sandbox about everything that you can't talk about to whoever else, the sandbox is a place for that. And you know, it's quite entertaining. So why am I telling you all of this about the Pro4uM? Well, oftentimes we stop and we neglect and we say, you know what? The Pro4uM really is a great place to hang out, and I've not been putting in as much time as I need to put there. You know, many of us are seeing a slowdown in our businesses due to the fact that there's just less interest in professional photography than there used to be. You know what? Let's mastermind this together. Let's all get together and let's look at it and say, hey, I got a great idea. What if we tried this? What if we tried that? You know, I've been begging for movies, begging. And it's simple. Take your cell phone, walk around your studio. I can think of one such video that was just made that Allison, I believe it was, who mentioned how she took this simple garage and turned it into a fantastic studio. Paul Floyd, another fantastic example. Very small space, but boy, did you not see some great ideas on ways that you could make and changes that you can make in your business? Tom Usher last month, another fantastic idea. I mean, his bathroom, I'm envious of his bathroom, his changing room. It was incredible. I loved all his little trinkets and toys that he kept in there for seniors. Beautiful. All these ideas. But you know what? You've got ideas like that. So please, take your cell phone out. Walk around your studio. You got a great idea. Tell me that great idea. You know, the Pro4uM is a fantastic place to hang out. Let's not forget how great it is. So, thank y'all so much for being on the Pro4uM, and I look forward to a ton of fantastic movies that are coming up. Y'all gonna love them for the next few weeks. Hopefully we can get a lot more in. We get February all filled up. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye.